Hey, mamas, and welcome back to another episode of the Modern Moms Club podcast. I'm so excited because, listen, my guest that I have today, she is a mama who's doing it. This is a mom who is crushing the mom game, and she is like telling it like it is. So I want to introduce you guys Haely White. She's a comedy writer, director, and actress. Haely, your story is like, I feel like you have the best job ever, and I want to dive into a little bit about your background so the mamas can get to know who you are. But thank you so much for being here today.
Oh my gosh, I adore you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to meet all of you new listeners.
Yes,
it's so exciting.
Dive in. I feel like we are just like so connected, and I just love this energy.
Are we vibing right now? We had this amazing chat before we started recording, and they're like, "Oh, we should probably start recording." So
yes,
we can, record all the juicy stuff.
yes, I love it. One of my listeners was like, "I love feeling like I get to be in on all these conversations that are just like girl talk that Sandi has." And I'm like, that's what it is. Like, I want to just be like real talk, real mom life talk, and like just share the real stuff, like not the sugar-coated stuff, not the no. Yeah. So like this is like, yes. And that's why I cannot wait to share this. So please, I would love for you to tell my audience just a little bit about, I want to actually start with where you are now and then do the background, because I cannot wait for them to hear like what you're doing.
For sure. Well, thanks to everyone who's listening. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a comedy writer, director, and actress, and I create original comedy about parenting, about mom life. And it's interesting because I had my son 2.5 years ago, and I've been doing this for a while. I've been writing comedy about all things in life, dating, relationships. But it wasn't until I had my 2-year-old that I realized what the actual, can I cuss on this?
Sure.
Sure. What the actual fuck just happened. And like, why don't I feel like there's anything out there that's actually hitting it like it feels like to me.
Yeah.
So I partnered with my girlfriend, Samantha Goodstadt, who's an influencer and was a blogger and also an actress and producer. She does a million things. And we started a channel called Don't Call Me Mommy. And last year we created a show for mom.me called Shit No One Told You. And it was literally that, like shit no one told me about being mom. But it was all the first stages of mom life. Now I am another season, but I'm in like 2-year-old dumb. And I'm sure each mom could relate, like every single year and stage, there's always going to be shit no one told you.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. It is so true.
And we have a series on FabFitFun. We just did a series with Parents Magazine that I'm actually watching the edits today. That's coming out next month. That I think is going to be like our best yet. We have The Bachelor, Nick Viall in it. So I'm stoked.
Oh, it's so amazing. So that's kind of where you are now. And I feel like you guys, if you haven't checked out Haely's, like any of her videos or stuff, you'll seriously like laugh your, you know what off, because it's just like real life stuff. And you're like, oh my God, for me, I'm like, God, why can't I be like this in the moment when these things happen too? You know, like,
oh no, I'm a total shit show in the moment. Like I have to stop and check in with myself. Even last night, my son just like has this mischievous side to him, and I could just feel him testing me, and I wanted to laugh. And then once I finally started laughing, I let it go. Like I had to laugh behind his back, because if he sees you laughing, then it's all over.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, in the moment, it's like, we're just trying to survive. Honey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, last night my husband actually, he came home. He was working crazy this weekend, but he had come home and something was going on the tub. The baby was just having a meltdown. I still call him a baby, but you know, he's 17 months. He's having a meltdown. Mm-hmm. And my husband and I just look at each other. We just laugh. We're like, what are you going to do? Like right now, just like, let's just get him to bed and like get past this little hump. But it's like, the moments that you share are just so real, and I feel like they hit home so well, and they resonate with moms, because like no one is like protected from this. Like we all go through it.
That's the greatest thing. It's like motherhood was what I realized is motherhood is like the ultimate equalizer, and parenting in general, no matter who you were before, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many problems or how few problems you have, it will knock you on your butt.
Yeah.
So our most popular episode was of Shit No One Told You was Sex After Baby, which I didn't expect, because I was so nervous that we were shooting like a really janky porn. It looks like when we were filming it, I was like, is this gonna even land? This is terrifying. My husband comes in with my son, like, how's it going in here, guys? I'm like straddling a stranger. I'm like, I can't go in. But anyways, what was interesting, my point was that like, that was the episode that was, I think, in some ways the rawest. We don't talk about sex after baby. We don't talk about the fact, not only do you never have it, but then once you do, it hurts so much.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't expect that to be the episode that took off, but that was what I realized. Okay, like women need to talk about this, and more importantly, we need to laugh about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's so powerful too, because it's those things that we don't talk about that people need to talk about the most, because it's like, you need to normalize it. You need to know, like, we all go through it, but then also, like you said, you need to laugh at it too and be like, you know what, you might just need to have a glass of wine and like, you know, just like be real about what you're
yeah.
Exactly. But let's backtrack for a minute. So like, I want to get into kind of like pre-Haely of Don't Call Me Mommy and like motherhood and all of that. So give us a little bit of a background, you know, days where you are now in mommyhood.
Yeah, I started in the womb. It was so cozy. No, I'm not going to do that to you. I always hate people talking about their bios from like 2 years old. I'm like, no one cares.
Yeah.
You know, I went to film school. I knew I wanted to be an actress, but I didn't think it was realistic, and neither did my parents. So I studied film and packed up my little Honda. I came out to Los Angeles all alone, 22 years old, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Like, here we go. And I was always told that I would have to choose. You're going to have to be in front of the camera as an actress, or you can be behind the camera. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, I never chose. I'm still doing both. I hustled the past 10 years. I mean, I've done every job in the world. My first writing job was, I decided I was quitting acting, but I always say you can't quit if you're not working. Yeah. I quit. They're like, who are you?
So funny.
But yeah, I decided I wanted to pause, and I got a writing job for Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, okay. I'm sure all the ladies know who she is.
Yes. I've, no joke, never seen the show to this day.
Wow.
But I was her ghost blogger.
Wait, so you were writing for her and you've never even like watched her?
No, because the show was just about to launch. This is very much like pre Lisa Vanderpump days. So the show wasn't on the air yet when I first got the gig. But I think I can say this. It's not like she's going to listen. And also, who cares? I'm like, should I clear this? I was writing in her voice. Yeah. And it was very short-lived because, as you can imagine, like a 25-year-old trying to blog in her voice.
In a British, like just trying to even, I mean, because the way that they speak is so different too. Like they don't.
The way that you write
yes.
are actually, spelled differently. So that was a whole journey.
Wow.
But the point is, I realized, okay, I can do this and I can write for myself. And so I had a roommate at the time who then became my writing partner, Megan, and we started writing comedy shorts on YouTube. You can go in there. I still stand by our YouTube shorts. They're wacky. They're super weird, but it was where I got my start. And I started training as a screenwriter and in comedy at UCB. And then, I launched a web series that got a bunch of awards, and then I had a baby, and then this happened.
So what do you feel like doing those gigs, like, you know, kind of writing for someone else and allowing yourself to, like, you kind of have a voice, but you're writing for someone else, like, was able to build your confidence to step out and do it yourself?
Oh, for sure. Right. Because I think everyone's a writer. I always encourage when people say, I'm not a writer. I'm like, no one has your story.
Right.
And no one can tell it like you can. So I realized that I've had a diary since I was 5. Sure.
Yeah, I can
write. And look, I never planned on writing at all. Like that was not, I still don't stand by my grammar and it's not perfect, but it gave me confidence to be like, okay, no one can write the perfect part for me and then cast me in it like I can.
Right.
So
totally.
I'm just going to go for
it. I love that. No, and it's so true because I feel like we're always, you know, a lot of moms that listen to the podcast, they're moms and they're entrepreneurs, you know, they're in business, they're working. And sometimes like we just need that extra little push and for ourselves and the confidence to be like, I can do this. Like, you know, even if it's kind of disguising ourselves, right, as someone else before we can step out into our own voice and our own power. So exactly. I think it's really powerful to own that and step into it and just try and find that confidence where you can, whether it's, you know, going out and doing, like you said, a comedy class or writing for somebody else or whatever it is. Like it's really important to hone in on those skills if you feel passionate about it.
And that's the thing. I think we struggle. I always say, don't let perfection stand in the way of, there's another phrase of progress. I forget it, but like putting it out there. So I find that women in general struggle with the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Whatever career we're in, we think that we're suddenly always questioning ourselves. I have an amazing entrepreneur circle of women called Boss Ladies. And we talk about that a lot. Like we're like killing it in our careers, or we're at least doing it, and we start questioning ourselves.
Yeah.
And even if you're not as far in your career, I think it's really important just to put it out there, find an accountability partner who will hold you to it. I've been doing that for my friends who say they want to write. I'm like, okay, next Friday, send me something. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
It can be whatever comes out, but once you start doing it, it's like a muscle.
Definitely.
And you just get used to, and I talk about this a lot too. I you know, it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. I feel like the magic happens in that uncomfortability. Like, you know, for 2019, and I've been saying this like across my IG lives and my posts and stuff, like one of my resolutions, and I've stuck to it, is doing the things that I'm most uncomfortable with. So for me, it's like, I hate running. I'm not a runner. I've been training for a 5K. And for me, like, I'm not a runner. Like a 5K to some people is like nothing. Like they're like, big deal. It's a 5K. And I'm like, but for
it's a big deal to me. Respect.
I'm like, I hate running. I don't want to do it. I'm bad at it, but I'm going to do it because it pushes me out of my comfort zone. Same thing with like waking up in the morning. I hate waking up in the morning. And I'm like, I got to wake up before my son's up. I got to wake up at least at 6 o'clock or earlier before.
Oh, you're one of those. Good for you.
Because I have to be. I'm creating the muscle of like, doing the things I don't want to do so I can get comfortable doing other things that I don't want to do. And I'm setting the pattern for myself.
Totally. And it's like, once you get used to doing that, I mean, how long does it take to form a habit? Like 30 days?
Yeah. They say like 21, 30 days. Yeah.
Yeah. 21, but I'll just go with 30.
That's good.
A
little buffer in there.
No, it's true. And I think that one of the caveats to being an entrepreneur is that whenever you're leveling up, you're putting yourself in a position of being uncomfortable and living in that scary zone, where I think excitement and fear are kind of the same side of like the coin. So if you're able just to kind of be comfortable being uncomfortable, or at least just keep showing up. Sometimes that's all it takes.
I love that. So like, how did you do that when you were first starting out, you know, and you were just like, I know I want to do this, but it's scary, but I really love doing this. Like, was there anything in particular that you did to like push yourself out of your comfort zone?
Oh yeah, girl. Are you kidding me? I am up in every single podcast. You know what I did? I created I went to Office Depot and I got like a little, I don't know, a packet of index cards. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm
doing it in the video, like, but anyways, so on each one I would write a word that I was going for, or a quote that got to me, or just like a mantra that spoke to me. And I would choose it either every day or every week, whatever I needed. I would kind of like go to that card and put it on my bedside table. And I swear it was so interesting. If you do this, you do it to look back. I was looking at my old one like a few days ago, and I'm like, I don't need these anymore.
Wow.
It was just like, comparison is the thief of joy. I'm such a sucker for mantras.
I love it.
But for me, it really worked because
you were programming yourself.
Yes. You really have to, when you realize, not to go deep into this, but I love talking about this inspirational stuff.
Yes.
You can create whatever you want. You just have to think those thoughts. Our subconscious is where we program everything, and that's where manifestation comes from. So even if you think you're going through all the motions, but in your head you're talking so much shit to yourself, and you're in that cycle, you're not going to break out of it. You have to actually like Jedi mind trick convince yourself of all those things.
And I love the quote or the saying too of like, you know, like there's no sign or there's no thing out there that's going to like change you. Like you have to change something in order for you to change. So you can't just expect like, I'm going to wake up today and like things are going to be different. Like you got to actually put in the work. Like you can't, just be like, ta-da, like it's happening. No. Like you got to put in the work. So I think like getting outside your comfort zone, investing in something that will allow you to take a step forward towards running a marathon or
Yeah.
public speaking or whatever it is. Like you have to do that in order to like allow yourself to get to the next level. Because if you were capable of doing it yourself, you'd already be there.
Totally. And I think that's really interesting because we often keep forcing ourselves. I found for a while I was like forcing myself and I didn't feel like it was aligned. And it's been really interesting with Don't Call Me Mommy because I honestly put no pressure on it. It was just fun. It was like an outlet. It honestly was like therapy for me to talk about this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that out of all the projects I've done, that has been the thing that I think is really taking off in a big way. And so my mantra of the year, I'm so cheesy. I swear I'm not always cheesy,
I love it.
is like connect to joy. So find the things that really bring you joy and keep following them, because then I think doors open so much easier than you trying to like
Definitely. And also because you're passionate.
It's like Tony Robbins. This is so boring. I don't know. I'm like,
no, trust me, girl. Like I know my girls in this group, and I know my girls that listen to the podcast, and like I feel like it's so needed because listen, at the end of the day, I say to all the moms like all the time, I'm like, we struggle to even like get outside our house and like talk to the barista because it's another person to just talk to, and it's not like our kids watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, that's theme song.
The fact that it's all tied in, you know, into being a mom and what that looks like, but also finding your own individuality and your own voice, it's so important.
Yeah, I think keeping your independence is really important. You know, like who you are as an individual, how you identify outside of being a mom.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is like something I really worked hard on. Like, yes, I'm a mom, and yes, I'm a wife, but who else am I still, you know?
Right. And I feel like for me, I always knew, like, I knew I wanted to be a mom. I knew I wanted to be a wife, but I always knew I wanted to also have my own thing, like whatever that looked like in whatever capacity. I was like, but I want to show up in all the areas. I don't want just one of them. I want all of them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's what happened to me last year. Honestly, I got really excited about all the things.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do all the things.
Yes.
And there was so much stuff coming at me. And then to be honest with you, like at the end of last year, I was totally depleted. I hit a wall. I made my husband take me to Tulum for like an eat, pray, love trip where I could like find I was like, please, I need a minute. Cause I just
breathe.
We do so much, even just keeping up with the day to day.
Yeah.
I think women, we kind of we handle everything, whether we're working or not. We handle all of the home, you know, even if our husbands are helping. It's a lot mentally.
Totally. And you know, you look back like years and years ago, and these were like tribes. Like you had all the women in the village, like helping you take care of these kids and cooking, and like all the things were being taken care of, but by multiple women. Now it's one woman
all the time
doing everything.
Yeah, I actually am working on a TV pilot about like communal living.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it.
Comedy, of course.
Yes.
So like chaos ensues. But I've been studying communes and also just like the village in general. Like you know, we're created to be a part of something and to work together. And now, even when I have days off, I don't know who's available because I'm still working and they're working, and it's just hard. We live very individual lives. So I think the way to get back to that is like huge.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have family near you helping you out?
So my pretty much all of my family is in Pennsylvania. Everybody. And then my in-laws were from San Diego. And when I got pregnant, I was like, because my in-laws really wanted like grandkids like right away. And I was like, okay, like, I'll make a deal with you when I get pregnant, or if I get pregnant sooner or something like that, you got to move down to Florida, to Miami, and be with us. They're like, okay, deal.
I love the negotiation.
I was like, you want this, I want that, deal. We got it.
That's huge. I think it's so nice to have. I get why people need to live by their families. It just changes everything. Yeah,
definitely. And it's the support. And, you know, I want my son to be close to, like, get to know his, you know, his grandparents. And my parents visit all the time. We go back up and visit, but yeah, that's so important. So, you know, we're talking about, like, I love how you're saying you're doing something about the communes and you're coming up with this content. So how do you like keep coming up with new, fresh content?
Oh, that's the easy part. The hard part is executing it.
Yeah.
making money doing it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just, life. I feel like I'm constantly observing. I'm constantly laughing at the weird thing.
Yeah.
I love
Taking
studying
notes.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love taking note of the weird, wonderful world around us. So I
Yeah.
constantly feel like and parenting honestly is like I need to have more kids. Not
Are you
because I
going
want
to?
more kids, but because I need more content.
You're like, honey, we're going to get pregnant because I just need to have more content. Okay. Deal.
I need to be able to write about 2 kids. We did a shit no one told you about baby number 2. And my partner had to like help me concept the whole thing. She helps me concept everything. But
Yeah.
I realized I was like, crap, I got to have more kids to keep up with this machine.
Oh
No,
my gosh.
JK,
So
I'm taking a
sweet.
minute. I'm taking a minute.
We're probably going to wait another year. My
Yeah.
baby's 17 months. Like I said, I keep calling my baby, but you know, he'll
Oh,
always be a baby.
that is a baby. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm right up against you, like a 2.5, and I still call him a baby.
Yes. So like everyone around me, I feel like is like, when's the next one? When's the next one? I'm like just finding my like groove right now. Like give me a minute.
Also, like I need a ball in my career for a second, like, and also just like handle it.
Yes. I'm so with you.
When people are just like churn out the babies, I'm like, are you going to raise my children?
Right.
Unless you're moving in, like, no.
Exactly. And you know, it really is for me. I think the hardest part was like the first 3 to 4 months after, like not even the pregnancy, but like postpartum.
Oh no. Oh, I actually threw an event about this called Postpartum on the Real. And I brought together women, a doula, a psychiatrist.
Oh, I love this.
And a health and wellness expert. I know I'm going to do more because I feel like postpartum is, out of all things, it's the least talked about.
Yes.
It's the most sugar-coated in glossy Facebook photos of smiling with their child.
Yes.
When Chrissy Teigen posted a picture of her in the mesh underwear, I was like, this is what it's about.
Yes. Thank you. I know.
So I think people are talking about it more, but that whole period's a blackout. I mean, I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was insane. Like so for us down here, we were going through a hurricane after I had my baby. Yeah, there was Hurricane Irma was like hitting Miami. I had my baby on a Thursday. We evacuated on a Wednesday.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was like you could have wrote about this.
That is the craziest thing. And
I had a C-section. So it was like
you couldn't even walk.
No, and my husband's like flying through the airport. I'm like, I can't even like breathe.
Girl, I'm giving you a trophy. It's currently in my Starbucks cup.
I'll take all the caffeine
and naps.
It was nuts. But I mean, even aside from like that chaos, it was just like, I don't think people talk enough also about like figuring out, and I like to say new normal, because like, especially as a mom, as a woman who's never had a baby before, like you're going from no kids to now having a baby. Like there's so much stuff, like you say, the shit nobody tells you that you go through and you experience that like you don't read anywhere. You're not like prepared for these things. And it's like, God, what, like people need to talk about this more.
That's why I wrote it. That was why the first idea, Sam and I had wine and she's like, do you want to collaborate? And she started writing down ideas on a napkin. And I was like, how come there's so much shit no one told me? And she's like, that's it. I'm pitching it. She pitched it on a napkin to mom.me. And that was the first thing we sold because I feel like that is exactly how I felt.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Oh my God, it's so amazing. So, I mean, like, how do you, okay, so you have this idea, right? And you're like the shit no one tells you and all of these like ideas, right? And you're an entrepreneur, you've been doing the writing, the comedy writing for so long, but how do you like land these big, like juicy deals? Like, how do you even like get to that?
So I'm actually speaking on this weekend. If anyone's wants to come out to Carlsbad. Anyways, but yeah, and how to pitch. I think it's a really important part of it. Everything that I've gotten has been through my personal relationships. But I think you can't be afraid to reach out and cold email people and be really specific. The mom.me thing came to us through a personal connection. We already had an ear there. But a lot of stuff, for clients, we'll cold pitch. We'll reach out to a company that we feel aligned with. Or maybe we've met them at an event, which I also go to all the events. talk to all the people, just be your badass, adorable self. And then once you have that, I find Instagram's a great way. That's like how we met, right?
Yeah.
Instagram's a great way to initially connect. And then from there, if you have an email, don't be afraid to be really clear on your idea when you pitch. You never want to just say like, hey, do you want to collab?
Right.
Because everyone's like, what does that even mean? And if
yeah,
they're
on
busy,
what, with who, when, where, like what, how, why.
Yeah, and if they're busy, they're going to ignore you, and then you'll just have it will be, you know, but yeah, we're never afraid to reach out really specifically. Hey, here's what we do. Make sure you have your materials. For us, we have like a media kit, which has our links. It has our work, you know, initially didn't have much in there, just had our one show, but as it's growing, you know, it gets easier. But yeah, a lot of it's the art of the follow-up too. Honestly, if someone doesn't respond the first time, I act like they didn't even read the email. I do a totally other email that doesn't even address the fact that they didn't open the first one. Like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
So I find too, like when you're busy, when we're busy, it's like maybe you see it, but you don't really know who it is.
Oh my God. I can't even tell you how many times in my mind I've responded to texts that I never responded to. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I sent that. I never did. It's like still sitting there. I just never pressed send.
Is that a new mom thing? Because I always would be like, someone's like, did you see my text? I'm like, yeah, respond. They're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, oh, in my head I did.
Yes. Oh my God. Literally I was just like, I thought I had gotten back on that, but like you do, but in your mind you do.
Yeah. So I would say like you can follow up 3 times in a non-psycho way. 3 times. I think the first time it's like they didn't see the email. The second time, hey, checking in. I usually do it 5 to 7 days apart. And the third time, just, you know, like a really short following up on the below, would love to chat. I always like to end on a question too, because what that does, this is like all email marketing stuff from my advertising days. But it prompts your brain to respond right away.
Yeah.
So those are like a couple of my tips on pitching, but I always say, don't be afraid. Another mantra, just ask, because it never hurts. People don't care if you just ask, you know, if you hassle them, it's different, but.
Yeah. And you never know what's going on in someone else's life. You know, they could have things going on that you obviously don't even know about. And, you know, you're a priority to you, but to the other person, who knows what they have going on.
Totally. And I think that I used to be really scared to follow up. That was something that I would follow up one time and then be like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
And my partner, Samantha Goodstat, is so great at that. She's always like, who cares? Just do it again. And that will be when they respond.
Right. Yeah. I feel like the magic happens when there's no like pressure on it. When you're just like, you know, you're having fun with it. You're doing your thing. You're in the groove, and like things just work and they just happen. But then when you're like feel pressured and there's deadlines and it's so tight and structured that you're like, oh, there's no room to like feel that fluidity.
Oh, totally. I know. In the flow, right? Yeah. There's definitely something to that too. Like that's definitely what's happened this past year. Is like, I'm just having fun. And I was joking that I've never gotten so many yeses in my life, because it used to be like, I'm not even joking, for 10 years as a writer and an actress. And I was like a TV host for a while, and I worked in advertising. It was just so much, you know?
Yep.
So never
what do you think changed? Like, what do you think, you know, I mean, you're having a lot of success right now, but what do you think that you're having these yeses? Like, is it your attitude? Is it your follow-up? Like, what do you feel like it is that you're doing that is getting you to those yeses?
I think it's a combination of knowing my shit. I've gotten a lot better, and my materials have gotten better. Yeah. The combination of being attitude is everything, like being kind of relentless in my pursuit, and not even letting no be an option, just being like, it's okay. And if it's a no, it's like, what's next? Like, I'm not dwelling on it.
Yeah. That's big too.
Right. Cause you can kind of go to the dark side.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. And also like having like you have all these other things going on. So you're like, okay, that's a no. We pivot. Like,
oh, totally. I mean, I only pivoted to become a writer because I wasn't working as an actress. Like,
now you're doing both. Now you're doing it all.
Yeah. But I never planned on this. Like, it wasn't like my plan A. If you look back, I technically failed. But I always say like failure is like on the path to like success. You're just going to keep failing. You know, if you fail up essentially.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I love it. And I think it's such a powerful message because everything, in my opinion, that you do, it's like redirecting you to where you need to be.
Totally.
And and if that doesn't work, then you like figure out the next thing. And then and also it could be a little bit of, like you said, you're getting better every time that you're doing it. You're finding more ways instead of like seeing a door, you're like, oh, but there's a window. Like, let me go to that opportunity.
Oh, I have a funny story. I found an email that I wrote to a potential manager, and it was so long. I'm not joking. It was like 6 paragraphs. And even though my materials, I stand by them, they are adorable and great. It was just like for an intro email, it was so aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like from a couple of years ago, I found it, and my heart, my stomach was like, I almost puked. I was like, this is horrifying. But now I know, like, nothing's ever going to come when you do that. You want to just like give them make it easy as possible for them to say yes and for them to respond.
Yeah. I love it.
Learned the hard way.
No, but how cool is it that you had that to like look back on? You're like, this is where I was. This is where I am now. Look how far I've come in between. Like, that's amazing. And sometimes if you look back,
like not beating myself up for like all those years of like mess ups, but that's how we learn.
But that's how you get to where you are now. Like, that's the like magic is in the mess, you know, like you get through
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. You know, you get through all of that messy stuff to end up like doing and being where you are now. And it, you know, most of it is laughable because you're like, oh my God, who would do that? Okay, I did, you know. But even if I look back on my old journals and notes I've taken, I'm like, whoa. And this is what I've noticed also. I was thinking too small. Like my everything I was doing was like, and even now, like I need to kind of rewire to think like whatever I'm doing, like I got to think way bigger.
You know what's interesting? I was talking to my husband about this last night because I was doing my books for last year, and I felt like I slayed it.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, after we pay out our crew and everything, I was like, oh wait, I can make a lot more money. And I realized that same thing. I was thinking small, and I'm like, okay, once you know that you have the demand, you're like, okay, I need to this is like so on point with where I'm at right now.
Yes.
Like and I love Mindy Kaling. She says like, why not me? Like she has a great book and she talks about like that, you know, because she kind of felt like such an outsider and always assumed that she would never, ever be able to do what she wanted as a writer and an actress. But look at her now. And that's so.
Yeah, no, it's so powerful. And I think, you know, we have to go through certain things. We have to learn, you know, everything is a learning opportunity. And I think if we can look back and say, this is what I was doing, but now I've learned this, like just put yourself in the position where, you know, like, okay, this is what I've learned. Like it's a learning process, you know, but like, I feel like we're our own worst enemies sometimes when it comes to like, you know, like we were saying about the imposter syndrome, like, you know, like, can I do this? Should I do this? And then we tell ourselves, well, if we hit this target, then like we're good, but why not hit like the bigger target and like, just like totally freaking like blow our own minds.
I know. It's scary. There's actually a really good book if anyone's just starting out as like a creative, I guess, that like changed my life, called The War of Art.
Yep.
Not The Art of War, The War of Art. But he talks a lot about resistance and like how resistance, typically you feel like when you feel that resistance against something, which is that self-talk, you think that you should stop because of that. But if anything, if you face that resistance, that means that you are onto something good. And he just basically explains that it's part of the process.
Yeah. Like the butterflies in your stomach, the feeling of like being nervous or anxious.
I get nervous every time I do a shoot. Yeah. I get nervous every time I do a speaking engagement. Like, but the thing is that I have a good hack for nerves actually.
Oh, tell.
If you can be 100% present in what you're doing, because nervousness comes from thinking about what could happen, right? In the future or the past. You're worrying about like either side, but if you can be 100% locked into what you're doing at the time and connected to it, like that fear actually can't exist because you're not worrying about anything.
Right.
So like whenever I always get nervous right before I do something, but then the second I'm doing it, if I'm really there, it's not even an issue.
Yeah. It's like that Will Smith video when he's falling out of the the plane when he's parachuting out. Did you see that one?
Yes.
And he's like, he's speaking through it, and he's like, we're all so nervous right before the jump. Like,
yes.
And then once you jump and you do it, then you're like, holy crap, I just did whatever it is. But like, it's literally like the lead up to the big jump.
Oh my God. I just got full body goosebumps. I love that. But that visual is really powerful to me because that actually is how I feel. Like the moment the plane doors are open and you're like, nothing's going to catch me. Well, maybe a parachute.
Yeah.
But like, that moment of like total terror. And then when you're in it, it's like,
Yes. And I feel like
are we figuring out life right now? Are we in Robin? Sorry, but
hot. I love it. So I feel like the same thing can be said for motherhood too, right? Like you're so nervous about it, especially before you have a baby, if you're planning for another baby, and you're so nervous because you're like, I know life as it is. I don't know life like what it's gonna be, and we like worry ourselves, and again, it's like the overthinking over not being in the moment. So like, what do you, as you've navigated mom life thus far, what are some good like mom hacks or tips that you figured out that you can share with us?
God, so many, but I mean, I think the first thing is that I felt inundated with like unsolicited advice, to be honest with you. Like, I just felt like everyone was constantly telling me what I should do. And if you're pregnant or if you're about to have a baby, it's really important just to tune into your own gut, because you have your own mom instincts and no one else is going to know that like you do.
Yep.
Like that's just was one of my pet peeves. And I'm like, please.
Yeah. Please keep it to yourself.
Please keep it to yourself. But I mean, I guess I get overwhelmed. I mean, everyone, right, does get really overwhelmed, but something that has helped a lot. First of all, asking for help. I delegate certain things to my husband. I'm very clear about the nights that he can help cook dinner.
Yeah.
I definitely have help. I'm not shy to talk about that. I think that it's okay to have, childcare so you can keep doing your work. And I always do my to-do lists the night before.
Yes. Woo! I love it. I have a whole program called the Magic Mom Morning Guide. And part of that is...
Wait, how do I not know about this? I need it.
Yes. No, I'll hook you up. It's like it's a whole guide, and it talks about how you got to set your day up for success, but then also like allowing yourself to write out your schedule the night before. So, just what you said, what you're doing the next day, but then it creates these massive wins in your day.
Yeah. And also a good hack was, you actually put it in your calendar instead of having like a to-do list. You actually go through and pencil each thing in the time slot.
You
already have this dialed in.
The YouTubers will be able to see this, but my other girls won't. So it's like line by line. Yeah.
What journal are you using?
It's the Corey Clark.
Okay.
Corey Clark Purposeful Planner. But I love it because it's line by line.
Too. I can't find mine.
Listen, a good journal is like everything. Like that's like my Bible. Yeah. Like I live off of this.
I know. There's something too about like writing it down physically. Because for a while I was doing it on my iPhone, but I felt like it's not satisfying. Yeah, you just need to be able to get in there. Like I miss tangibility.
Yes. And I feel like when we're so plugged into our phones and everything, like, just being literally on our phones and on screens, I like actually writing things down and writing it out. And I feel like I can like brain dump. And there's actually a spot on here for the brain dump, for the ideas, for anything. Yeah. So yeah, it's just really like pen to paper is my thing.
It's my thing too. And I didn't know it was my thing until I realized that I desperately needed it.
Yeah. And listen, sometimes you gotta like, when you're in the thick of it, you're just like, I just need to like get it down on paper so I can have my thoughts out where I can actually see them.
Totally. And there's so many things like you're keeping track of in your head of your day and the mom life with the work. And I don't plan to have it figured out. Like I'm totally open. I need to get your mom morning.
Yes.
The mornings for me are really hard. It's hard for me to wake up before.
Yeah. So that's part of the magic. Like waking up before your baby, because you get so much, like you can actually have you time. Like I call it mom me time, like mom me time, It. And so, just having that, like for me, I get up, I use the bathroom, brush my teeth, put my contacts in, I'll get dressed. I can actually have like a hot cup of coffee, before I'm like chasing my little guy around. So it just like changes everything. And I asked my husband, because one of my big things was for this year, I said, I want to wake up early. For me, it means before the baby, which means at least 6 a.m. So I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good am I doing so far? And he's like 10. Like he said 10 right away. I was like, yes, because he's hard. Like he's a tough critic. So because he said 10, I was like, all right, I'm doing good.
I'm really impressed. Those mornings are killer. I thought I would get used to them by now. And that's something that's surprising about motherhood. I thought I would like get in the flow of the early morning, but every morning I just feel like I'm slapped across the face. Like, what? I got to get your morning routine. I got to do it.
Yes. Yes. And I'm doing a mastermind too. We'll talk about that later, but I'm doing that in March. March 4th we start. But yeah, it's like mama support group, but we go through everything, business and life and relationships and leveling up and, getting around the right relationships. So it's just like, it's everything that like mom needs,
Yeah, we need each other. I feel like what's really cool about having a baby though is it's brought me together with women like yourself and like we live across the country from each other, but like having this conversation and being able to connect and share with others, you realize no matter whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, or anything in between, like we're all in it together and we're doing our best.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, Haely, where can all of the moms connect with you, find you, and laugh their booties off at your content? Because I cannot wait for them to check it out.
So you can find me at Haely White on Instagram. It's spelled very weird, Haely White, like the color. And then at Don't Call Me Mommy on Instagram. We're launching our website tomorrow. So
yay, congratulations.
Thank you. It's just dcmm.tv.
So for Don't Call Me Mommy.
Yeah, that's right. And please sign up for our mailing list because we're doing like tons of giveaways. We have so much gear for everybody and we're blowing it up on our Instagram. So please sign up for our mailing list. And stay tuned for our new series coming to parents soon.
So exciting. You have so much going on. You're freaking killing it. And you like I said, you're the coolest job in the world.
Aw, thank you. You need to come be in a video soon.
Yes, girl, sign me up. All right, Haely. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Mamas, we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.